Hello, hello, and welcome back to another car conversation. Let's recap. Let's talk about the DNC that was must-see TV. It was a very exciting week last weekend. We saw a lot of great performances, heard a lot of heartfelt, wonderful, empowering speeches. Um, we saw a lot of just common folks talking about their day-to-day lives and how certain things impact or enhance the betterment of their lives, if we're talking about unions and different things like that. So let's recap the DNC, because it was actually a wonderful thing. I missed it. Last year I told myself, oh, we should go to the DNC, we should plan that. And then I decided to do something else, and I didn't do either one of those trips. So I was kicking myself all week, but I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed watching it. So let's talk about it. So on day one for me, the most phenomenal speakers were AOC, the UAW president, Sean Fain, with his scab shirt, doing his Hulk Hogan impression and taking off the jacket and having the scab shirt on. My girl, Jasmine Crockett from the state of Texas, Congresswoman Crockett. Now, here's the only thing I want to say about Congresswoman Crockett. I think she's better off the cuff. I don't think she should use a teleprompter. It could have been, the crowd was huge, and this was her first time at the DNC. So it could have been a bit intimidating, the environment, but also I think she's just better riffing, just off the cuff, just speaking. So don't use a teleprompter anymore. Just go. Who else? Oh, the end of Reverend Raphael Warnock's speech, I loved how he talked about, his children will not be okay until every child is okay. I really love the fact that he included the children of Gaza, as well as, children in Atlanta and Appalachia. Like, I really love that point that he made. I felt his speech was a bit too long, but I did love the ending of it. And then, of course, we wrapped that first night with Joe Biden, and it was Joe Biden's night. So, as far as I'm concerned, Joe Biden could speak as long as he wanted to speak and say whatever he wanted to say. It was his night. I did love the standing ovation, just giving him his props and his flowers. I love that from the crowd. On day two, the Obamas, period. Period. I don't need to say anything else. That's just it. The second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, I did enjoy him telling a bit of their story, how they met, how they got together, and from his perspective as a husband, who Kamala Harris is. I did appreciate that. And I also appreciated that Michelle Obama just said, you know what, I'm ready to go toe to toe. Like, okay, that's who I was, that whole, we go high, but here's where I am now. As a regular citizen, I'm gonna let you know how I feel and how I felt for quite some time. And I love that. And then there were some great pictures from that night. You might want to look online. There's some great photos from Obama watching her, giving her speech from backstage. When he came out, their interaction. There's some great photos from that night. And then day three, Pete Buttigieg. I love Mayor Pete, or Secretary Pete, love him. I see great things in his future. And the same with Governor Wes Moore. I love and appreciate Governor Wes Moore. Both two great orators, and leaders as well. So I really love their speaking on day three. Day four, Kamala, period. Just Kamala. That's it. It was also, for those of you that don't know, that when she gave her speech that very same day, 60 years prior, is when Fannie Lou Hamer took the floor at the DNC. And you can find that video anywhere. Just Google it and actually hear how um, powerful her speech was. And then if you did not watch the DNC, you must watch Kamala Harris's speech. But also I would say, I would highly encourage you to watch the Obamas speaking as well. And then AOC was wonderful too on the first day. Um, and then the sightings, So we got Fitz and we got Olivia Pope. We have performances from Stevie Wonder, John Legend, Sheila E., and this fabulous guitarist. I meant to look up her name before I got on here. I thought it was her when I saw the information leak, but it was not. It was not. And this young lady is amazing, was amazing on the guitar. Pink did an awesome performance with her daughter. The roll call is, I've watched DNC, I watched the RNC too in the past, but the roll call is typically the most boring part of the whole conference. But this roll call was like on another level. The DJ was great. And then you had Little John come out when for Georgia, it was like, it was fire. The whole thing was fire. And this is a roll call. This is when they go through every state and they just talk about how many delegates that, that they have that are willing to vote for Kamala Harris to be the nominee. So it's typically the most boring part of the conference, and it was amazing. It was amazing. There were so many powerful testimonies. For me, it was all the women that talked about their different situations in regards to abortion and abortion care. That young lady that had to, have this conversation and address abortion, was given the choice when she was 12 years old because her stepfather had been sexually abusing her. Y'all already know, you watch my videos, y'all know how I feel about that. So many powerful testimonies. And I will also say, I was impressed with the Republicans, some of the Republicans' testimonies as well. Well, most of them, just basically saying that they are looking at democracy, at just America maintaining democracy, at their livelihood, at the entire disruption of everything if 45 were to get back into office. And so they are voting for and backing Kamala Harris. And I really appreciated a lot of their conversations. The one, Stephanie Grisham, she said, when she revealed that 45 calls his followers basement dwellers, and that when they went to a hospital to visit COVID patients, 45 got upset because the cameras weren't focused on him. They were focused on the patients. Every time I think that I've heard the lowest of the low for him, I hear something else. And I really appreciate all the Republicans sharing their information, their experiences, and then, why we should all get on board and fight for democracy. But those that were working on the inside, I'm grateful that they're talking now, but I really wish they would have been whistleblowers when they were on the inside, because I just think about how many people would have been deterred a long time ago from joining the MAGA cult if they would have heard from these people years ago. Like, if she would have came out and said, I'm trying to get Melania to contact 45 to stop the attack on the Capitol, and she just point blank said no. If she would have said right then, or before that, when she would go into rooms and he's calling his people basement dwellers, like, this is information people need to know so they can make decisions about what they want to be a part of. But again, I'm grateful for them speaking up now. I'm grateful for them supporting Kamala Harris now, and the importance of them speaking. The importance of them speaking is it gives others permission. If you know anything about groupthink, you know anything about groupthink, the way to break up the group, the main group, or yeah, the main group of the cult in this situation, is to have people break off and form a new group. And that's what they're doing. So it's giving permission to other Republicans to join this new group. Now you're saying, yeah, well, we had you had the Republicans that worked on the January 6th commission, and Adam Kissinger, and which he spoke on Thursday, and oh, what's her name? And her father was in Congress too. You know who I'm talking about. Blonde, wears glasses. She's been very fierce in her speaking out against 45. But the thing is, it was just the two of them in the beginning. And you have and people who are, and again, this goes back to my followers and leaders conversation, but it takes a while for those people who are true followers. They need to feel some comfort in, I'm not going to be out here by myself. Or, sometimes that individuality, meaning, you can't point me out because I'm part of this group, that helps some people as well. So I'm happy that they're speaking up. The union workers that took to the stage. Also, there was this great moment where, oh, what's his name? Gallegos, I think is his last name. He's running for office right now. He brought up other members of other veterans that are members of Congress. They all came to the stage. That was a wonderful sight. What else? So let's talk about Kamala Harris's speech. Okay, so her speech, she, of course, talked about her upbringing, her background, the work that she's done. That was to get everybody familiar with her, because a lot of people will still say they don't know her. They don't know enough about her to decide whether or not they want to vote for her. So this made people a little more comfortable, more familiar with her, and more of a, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. My mother had to save up to buy a house too. I had to work at McDonald's too. My mother had these funny little sayings and colloquialisms too. So that was a great component of her speech. And then, she progressed and moved into, what her policies are, which is great for people to hear those again. And then just the unity and, talking of unity and coming together and progressing as one, and talking about the future and this connectivity, and then taking just a pause and direct to camera to talk to people that, regardless of party, here's why you should vote for me. I thought that was a great moment as well. There's also this wonderful picture out there, floating out there, where it's her little niece, and it's shot from behind her niece. So you can see the back of her head and her two little ponytails, and she's looking up at Kamala Harris as she's giving a speech. And that photo just speaks volumes for me. It's an amazing photo. I encourage you to check it out. You'll love it once you see it. The most important things overall to me, and the greatest impression that the DNC made on me, was to see that it was a sea. It was literally a sea of diversity. The crowd, the different ethnicities, you could tell. You could see different ages in the group. You could see, I watched an interview with one of the eldest delegates and one of the youngest delegates. There was a young lady, I forgot which state she represented, but she took the mic, and this was going to be her first time voting. She was 18 and was a delegate. And you had men, you had women, you had just all kind of people. And I'm quite sure from, all different walks of life, of course, but all different backgrounds and faith, education levels, etc. So just the overall diversity was number one for me. The unity, the coming together of just this diverse, massive group of people, sea of people, the positive energy The energy, you could tell, you didn't have to be in the stadium. You could feel the energy. The energy was and is palpable. You can feel it. I was telling somebody the other day, like that I can feel a shift in the energy just in the people that live around me. More people are working out, which is actually not a great thing in my opinion, but I mean, it's a good thing they're working out. It's just that I like less people in the gym. But anyways, I digress. But just saying good morning and being a little friendlier, like you can feel the energy shift. I'm gonna say it's because of this moment, because prior to what, a month ago, it's only been like a month. It's only been a month. You know, when Biden was still at the top of the ticket, it was literally this, I don't want to vote for either one of them, or I'm voting for the lesser of the two evils, or, and I hate to be ageist, but y'all know what people were saying. Y'all know what people were saying. So that's my recap. Like I said, there were certain speeches, if you didn't watch, if you didn't watch every day, if you didn't catch the performances, I highly encourage you to watch it. You can find the videos on YouTube, but definitely check out AOC's speech, check out the Obama speech, definitely watch Kamala's speech. Pete Buttigieg, I would encourage you to watch his speech as well. Wes Moore, Sean Fain, Jasmine Crockett, and if you watch Raphael Warnock, you can skip through to like the last 5 minutes. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, it was good overall, but you know, it was just too long. Now, the one thing that I didn't care for, the one thing I did not care for, well, there were two. It seemed like the timing got off every night, so it was really late. And I know it was even later for the people on the East Coast and in Chicago that were actually there. But the energy was so high, you wanted to watch it. You wanted to watch it. And I saw the ratings information has come out. The ratings were extremely high. Let me see if I have that real quick. If I could pull that up really quickly. Because the numbers are going to send 45 through the roof. I'm quite sure. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, viewership of the 4-day event in Chicago drew an average of 21.8 million viewers per day, according to Nielsen data, eclipsing the audience of the Republican National Convention by nearly 15%. 29 million viewers watched VP Harris's acceptance speech, beating the viewership of 45 speech by 14%. So if you're seeing his meltdown today, which I've already seen some of it, these numbers came out, and this is part of the reason why. But the last thing I wanted to say, not allowing, I think, what's her name? Her last name is Roman. She's a Georgia state representative from the uncommitted group. And she wanted to just have an opportunity, because they gave the family, the mother and the father of one of the Israeli captives, they gave them the floor and the opportunity to speak, and she just wanted to have an opportunity to speak on behalf of, she is Palestinian, on behalf of the Palestinian people. The DNC did not make that opportunity available to her, and that was the number one problem that I had. I did post her speech. It's online, but I did post her speech on my IG page. So my IG information is here. You can go to my page and you can look at it. But that was disappointing. I'm just going to put it that way. That was disappointing. I'm going to do a whole other video about where that is, because people have been, you know, like, oh, you don't post anything about Gaza anymore. And it's not at all because I'm not thinking about those folks. But what I do, those people that are suffering. But what I do want to say, because I am talking about the DNC and I am talking about Kamala Harris in this video, I do want to say, I do want to reiterate, because I've already said this. I personally believe the only hope for those people that are suffering in Gaza and those hostages that are in Israel, I believe the only hope is going to be um, electing Kamala Harris. You can tell right now that there is a little um, movement or shift between what Biden has been saying in regards to the situation and her speaking up and saying what she personally wants to say about Gaza. And also 45 has come out and flat out said Israel finished them. So we already know that if your top concern is the people in Palestine and America continuing to send military aid and continuing to send tax dollars to support Israel, just like mine, I would say to you, the only hope for those people in regards to any type of resolution, it's just clear to me. Any type of movement or any type of resolution, or just even getting closer to any type of resolution, 45 has already told you, or has already said publicly, Israel finished them, and just do it quick. Can you just do it quick? And there you have it. So the DNC, must-see TV. I hope all of you enjoyed it that watched it. If you didn't have an opportunity to watch it, I would highly encourage you to watch it. Catch those videos on YouTube. And now we got to go to work. That was like the pep rally for democracy. And now it's time to go to work. I think we're down to what, 72 days or 73 days. So there's not much time. All hands on deck. All hands on deck. Let's go to work. Let's make it happen. Because when we fight, we win. I'll talk to you soon.